I will say that Starlight's development this season has been absolutely fantastic. I've loved the journey that her character has essentially been on since this season began, because I kind of feel as though me and a lot of people were kind of getting tired of Starlight because it didn't feel like they were doing anything with her. Like there wasn't any growth in regards to her character that the rest of the members of the boys essentially had. I am happy to say that that is not the case this season because she went through it emotionally, physically, mentally. And I mean, the physicality aspect, the fact that they gave her the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2 treatment of her trying to figure out her identity and what it meant to be a superhero and whether or not she thought of herself as a hero, and giving her the web block or the light block where she couldn't access her powers the way in which she wanted to. Fantastic. Absolutely loved it because we saw her crash out early on against Firecracker when Firecracker leaked something very, very close and intimate to her. And that rage is what essentially fueled her and had her tripping out and using her powers in ways we had never seen before. I think me and everyone in the community were absolutely enjoying and in love with the fact that she was just putting the paws on people. It wasn't any light beams anymore. It wasn't trying to blind people anymore. She would let them fists glow and she would let those fists fly. And that was dope as hell. But outside of that, you had this emotional journey that her character went on as well, which is, like I said, attempting to define the type of person and the type of character that she actually is. And you see Firecracker essentially bring up early on in the season the fact that Annie was kind of a bitch early on. And that dynamic stuck with her to the point where the shapeshifter brought it up when she was essentially torturing her, saying that, you know, you want to blame Vought and you want to blame Homelander and you want to blame your mother for these horrible decisions that you've essentially made when you're the one who has the say and the power, and at the end of the day is the one that decides to go through with that decision of being horrible. And it's her basically being able to reflect and realize that, you know what, you're absolutely right. I have allowed so many external factors and I've pushed my decisions on them, saying that, oh, it's not me that's bad, it's this person over here that's bad. And once she came to terms with that, the powers came back, baby. The powers came back, and she caught up with that shapeshifter so quick and ran the ones with her. And I was like, yes, finally, that's dope as hell. But one of the things that I really, really loved is that she finally got the last little push. And if you ever watched G.I. Joe, there's this really, really dope scene with Storm Shadow where they're talking about how to get a weapons manufacturer to basically create something. And Storm Shadow essentially says fear. Fear is a motivator. At the end of this season, everyone is in fear. Everyone's essentially on the run. Frenchie and Kimiko are running. MM is running. And Huey and Anna. And why did I forget her actual name? Anna January? Miss January? Fuck it, we're just gonna call her Starlight. And Huey and Starlight are essentially on the run together as well. But as they're on the run, everybody is terrified because Vought, I even shouldn't say Vought, Homelander's final plan is being executed and he has all of the power and the stormtroopers are out and after them. And when they crash, there's a level of fear as she's watching Huey basically getting taken away. And that's where Storm Shadow's motto comes in, baby, where fear is the motivator. Because the second that she acknowledged that she wasn't going to be able to save Huey, and Huey acknowledged that she needed to get the hell out of there and let him go. And I forgot what her name is, but she has like the power to crush stuff. Just using her mind, being able to crush stuff. And she made that one-to-one where she was like, you know what? I'm not trying to get crushed here. It's time for me to put on the zoomies. And she popped up into the air and zoomed off. I was like, yeah, dog. We fixed that flying issue with the quickness. Before we could only hover. But the threat of being crushed, the threat of being force crushed But this ball bitch was just like, nah, can't, baby, can't have that happen to me. I got to get out of here so that I can, in some way, shape, or form, create a plan so that I can save these people. And one of the things that I actually like, that I love the most, is the fact that she took off with no power source nearby. There wasn't any lights on over there. That was all her, baby. The final evolution of those powers that we've been talking about throughout this entire season, which is that with Vought, with the controlled environment that they create, there's never a chance for the heroes to grow and their powers to develop and their abilities to become more. But with her leaving Vought and her joining the boys and constantly in these battle situations and figuring out her mentals and then realizing that she does want to be a hero and she doesn't have to be defined by the shitty situation that she was in, that power was able to blossom, baby. And my girl took off like a Powerpuff Girl. She got the hell up out of there. Oh boy, it's a wait. It's a wait. It's a year and a half wait until we are back with the boys once again. But oh boy, if this wasn't a fantastic season finale and a great character arc for Miss January, our Starlight.